But that's how a lot of people still think. That's just an anecdotal thing. I think there is a fairly high. I don't know what the percentage is, Michael. Some of you would probably know better than me. But generally, politically speaking, cops are very powerful.
I agree.
They got a lot of...
Which makes absolutely no sense. And
right.
Tim, I know we've talked about this before, but the fact that legislatively they yield so much power, what position should the police have in advocating for legislation? That is not their role.
None. They should not be a part of the legislative process.
I don't think so. No, not...
Well,
no, they should stay out of it. And actually, that's a good point you just brought up. Because if you are in the United States military, officer, non-com, whatever, you cannot hold political office, period. You can't be lobbying, technically. Okay, and maybe the general can. But, I mean, again, there is a separation, and I think the separation between politicians and police has gone the wrong way.
Yeah.
Over at least the last, 15, 20 years or so, maybe more.
The police
it's not like, like Sergeant Friday.
Yeah.
Well,
Sergeant Amy Dunner.
Yeah.
Our good friend.
Oh, yeah.
She's a
What a piece of work. Yeah. Yeah, and no, the lines, like I say, this is not good. I mean, the lines of, they're starting to blur, and it's not in a good way.
Let me ask you this, Tim, because I totally identify with your point. We've talked about this in various ways. Sharmi would say she just stepped out of the room, but neighborhood policing is the dragnet you were speaking of. Where a officer will go into the neighborhood and neighbor will speak to him. Just the facts, ma'am. He's over there. Okay, thank you. And they go because the neighbors trust the police and they know they're there to see them and send them over there. We're so far removed from that. And in today's day and age, that is not who I think a police officer going to the academy this year or graduating from high school or whatever they do before they go in. They are not thinking they're going to be dragnet. And I would say, like I do to any politician that calls into the show when we have every now and then, why would you want to be a politician in today's day and age? What do you think you can do in the system that's and to the police officer also, why would you want to be a police officer? It's it's thankless, dangerous, low pay, high risk, and even if you do your job every single day, you get killed, and probably people are still going to hate you. You know what I mean? It's difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like who does that? And what is the motivation?
Somebody that loves the power that you get with the job,
or somebody who wants to effect change, like Dana Nessel.
Let me
Let Tim finish his point.
Okay,
go ahead. Let me maybe draw a parallel to that question about the idea of a politician and a police officer. Why would anybody want to do either job? These are not easy jobs, and the pay is not great. Now, I would say from what I've observed in life, there is a tiny minority of police officers, politicians that are really clean. They're ethical, kind of people. And, we can name names and all that of good ones, that is, but there's a vast amount that are willing to put up with that hassle to get something even bigger than simple justice and good government and all that. I mean, sometimes it's power, sometimes it's money. In the instance, you can, rise up in the police, you can start your own company or security thing and get some hustle going. You learn all kinds of crime techniques, and you become an independent business person, or you can rise in politics. There was a chapter in my history that's kind of funny. I was really kind of desperate, and it didn't last long. But I applied to be a Detroit police officer back in the 80s. This was a moment of desperation. I know, but it was funny. I did all the wrong things. I did all the wrong things. I should have lied. That was the point. I told the truth. And they basically said, you should have lied. You're just a chump. Who are you? That I wasn't now really qualified. I thought about it, and it's not a thing. But the motivation I had, it was a kind of desperation. But I figured if I could get into the police, That was my thinking at that time. I could learn through the techniques, rise through the ranks, become a police chief, and then become mayor. Or get in the U.S. Senate or something like that.
Right. All right.
That's what I was thinking at that time. It's like,
Speaking of Congress, we've got Tim Beck's testimony queued up here.
Oh yeah, let's listen. It's good stuff.
Future Senator Tim Beck testifying.
I do want to read in that Alan Cropsey of the Attorney General Bill Schuette's office is opposed to the bill as it is currently written. Does not wish to speak. Opposing the bill, does not wish to speak, is Prosecutor Kim Worthy of the Wayne County Prosecutor's prosecuting attorney. We have wishing to speak in support of the bill, Tim Beck, Michigan chapter of National Association for the Reform of Marijuana Laws.
Thank you so much. Just as a brief introduction, I'm actually the person who got the money to finance and win the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act, which was passed by the voters. I've been involved in this area for a long time. Of course, asset forfeiture is very important to our members. Now, I just listened to some of these folks, police officers. It's the end of the world. If you pass this, it's over. Criminals are going to be running amok. It's going to be terrible. Well, I think there's more to that than this. And I want to get into the record. This is in the Traverse City Record Eagle, January 14th. I want to quote from the story. It's Grand Traverse County Prosecutor Bob Cooney said he understands the concerns surrounding civil forfeiture, but argued that legislators have forced the justice system to depend on the legal maneuver to balance budgets. That's what they said. So I think it's a little deeper than that. And the thing of it is, this reminds me, the only word that comes to mind that's appropriate is the term police state. Okay. Now in China and Cuba and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, cops, they got to feed their family. Okay. They need money to get after criminals, and they must be guilty. So and you take it to the next level where there was a man named Lavrentiy Beria. He was head of the Soviet secret police under Joseph Stalin, and he said, "Give me a man, and I'll give you a charge." Okay. Now, I thought the normal way of getting money for your department, you go to the county commissioners, you get them to transfer money from one department to your department so you have adequate funding. Or, you go to the legislature or you go to the voters and get a tax increase if crime is out of control and people are scared. Well, that doesn't seem like the route Mr. Cooney cares to go. And the other thing I want to address, there's a lady here talking about this Luke Davis and his wrecking crew out in Monroe County and how he got convicted and all that. Now, there's a personal anecdote. I grew up out there. I don't live there, been gone. My dad was right next door, literally lived right next door to his next door neighbor that was a victim of Luke Davis. Now, my dad's 91. He's a real conservative guy, and he really trusts police, and he thinks that he loves Donald Trump. And, the whole thing of it is when, the wrecking crew came, the guys had these were guys that cut their lawn. There weren't people that were running 24/7 to deal drugs. They didn't have wild parties. They're just regular folks. And they found, yes, they had illegal marijuana plants. There's about 10, 15 of them, something like that. Well, Luke and his crew came in. The guys were, they weren't, they were at work, and they busted down the door. They took the snowmobile. They took the lawnmower. They took the liquor supply. I guess they need that too. And to teach a lesson, they broke all the windows. Okay. Now that incident shook my dad to the core. He don't trust police after seeing that. He could not believe it. He said, why didn't they just arrest the guys? Why they have to do that? And I'm telling you right now, he told everybody, he told all his friends and everybody at church what happened. And there's a township called Erie Township. They don't like and trust police very much anymore after what that happened. And they take it on a macrocosmic level in large urban areas. People don't even want to cooperate with the police. Forget it. They're afraid of them. And there's the no snitch rule. And yes, sadly, some good cops, they can get killed by angry people. And I say we're, kind of heading down a slippery slope. And I'm going to close this by a quote from another communist, okay? And that is a gentleman named Yuri Pyatakov. And he and Lenin and Trotsky, they took over in Russia and they form their own way of doing business and justice and a way to survive in that environment. He said, quotes, "For the party's sake, you can and must, within 24-hour notice, force yourself to believe that black is white." Folks, we're not talking about, I hope none of you believe that black is white or the other way around, and I don't think there's anything that I cannot, in my wildest imagination, why there would be any objection to passing this bill. And that's it. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Any questions? Apparently not, so thank you so much for your testimony.
Great, fantastic.
We lost Senator Beck.
Oh, we did. He's not.
Oh, no.
Outstanding.
It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Wow.
I'm going to see if
We stopped short of quoting case law on,
I got to bring you know what that means? I got to bring a church story into my story. Seriously,
Yeah.
that's some good. That's really good. I mean, like
a Moreno thing or something.
I don't know.
Didn't Jamie want to talk about the Dana Nessel fundraiser?
Is Jamie here?
Yeah, next Tuesday in Ann Arbor at OM on Main Street is the Dana Nessel fundraiser, and I was going to ask Tim if he was going to be there, but he hung up on us, huh?
It was accidental. Right. The event is co-hosted by Comorn Law, PLC. Jamie Lowe's going to be there.
Tim Beck's cell phone. Please leave a message if you care to.
We want to go and give her our money and our wishes and our prayers because we need this woman to be the next Attorney General, for God's sake.
Charmy is not at a microphone, but endorsing this meeting. It is from 7 to 9 on the date of February the 20th. Is it this Tuesday?
Hello?
Yeah,
Next
Tim's
Tuesday.
back.
Welcome back, Tim. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Hey, man. Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Things got cut off, for a while. And
we were just talking about next Tuesday.
Yeah, because it blanked out. Yeah. Go on. I'm sorry.
Okay, just say we were just talking about next
Hello?
Tuesday. Yeah, in Ann Arbor, there's a Dana Nessel event, and we were wondering if you were going to be
Oh,
there.
yeah.
7 to 9 on Tuesday in Ann Arbor. OM
I don't think I'm going to. I just, the thing is, at home, I've heard about it. Then Matt Abel's having one, too. But the problem is, I live so far away. I don't live in, southeast Michigan anymore. It's just a long drive and stuff. So, and so I've been to, 2 of her fundraisers now. And she's wonderful. Oh, my God. She's a winner. I truly believe it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but I think she's got a shot at it, at pulling this off. And the word is spreading. There are people that are going to be at that party convention. And they're going to vote for it. People are going to try. I mean, they'd like to work out a deal with organized labor and stuff so everybody's on one page. But if not, what loss is there? Why will vote Republican?
How does it feel to be a registered Democrat, Tim?
I don't have any feeling at all. Really, serious. Any more than I have a feeling for the Republican Party. It's almost like you get to a level where you're, beyond that. And I just look at myself as an independent. And I'm welcome anywhere. Actually, that is a nice thing about it. I go to Republican stuff. I go to Democrat stuff, and it's all right.
Tim, would you say with the enthusiasm that Dana has captured for many in our community, just her downright, honesty about things, and that the existing candidates that, let me call them posers or, late to the game or want to be seen as a candidate, but really aren't there. Aren't they like more exposed as being not, from Dana's cloth, so to speak?
I don't know. Sometimes somebody that just is very assertive like that, and just has the right tone that connects with people, they can win. And a lot of times, again, it's a cliche about people being way ahead of politicians. And this is the thing with Dana. I mean, there's nothing hidden about her life.
Right.
And you understand what I'm saying. It's right out there.
Yeah.
And yet people are saying, they seem, at least in my social orbit, or people I'm trying to convert, they all like Dana. And better than this Patrick Miles. Patrick Miles is the
That's what I'm saying.
He's so horrible.
That's what I'm saying. To me, Tim, that's what I'm saying.